Hi, I'm Julie, still reading from the original Grimm's fairy tales. Today's selection is The Three Spinners. It is a short story with a very unlikely ending on a theme of laziness. There was once a girl who was very idle and would not do her spinning. She let her mother say what she would, but she would not do her spinning. The mother was so overcome with anger and impatience that she beat her daughter. Now the girl began to weep loudly, and at that very moment the queen drove by, and she heard the weeping, and she stopped her carriage. She went to the house and asked the mother why she was beating her daughter so that the cries could be heard clear out to the road. The woman was so ashamed to reveal the laziness of her daughter that she lied, and she said, "Oh, I cannot get her to leave off with her spinning. She insists on spinning forever and ever, and I am so poor that I cannot procure more flax." Well, the queen answered, "Ah, there is nothing that I like better than to hear spinning. I am never happier than when the wheels of the spinners are humming. Let me have your daughter with me in the palace. I have flax enough, and there she shall spin as much as she likes." Well, the mother was heartily satisfied with this, and the queen took the girl with her. When they arrived at the palace, she led her up to 3 rooms, which were filled with, from top to bottom, with the finest flax. "Now spin me this flax," said the queen, "and when thou hast done it, thou shalt have my eldest son for your husband. Even thou art poor. I care not that thou art poor, for your industry is enough for me." Well, the girl was secretly terrified, for she could not have spun the flax, no, not if she had lived 300 years. She sat at it every day from morning until night. When therefore she was all alone, she began to weep, and sat thus for 3 days without moving so much as a finger. On the 3rd day the queen came to her, and when she saw that nothing yet had been spun, she was surprised, but the girl excused herself by saying that she had not been able to begin because of her great distress, because she had to leave her mother's house. Well, the queen was satisfied with this excuse, but said that she was going away, and tomorrow thou must begin to work. When the girl was alone again, she did not know what to do, and in her distress she went to her window. Then she saw 3 women coming towards her, the first of whom had a very broad foot. The second had a great underlip that hung down over her chin. The third had a very broad thumb. They remained standing before the window. They looked up and asked the girl what was amiss with her. She complained of her troubles, and they offered her their help and said, "If thou wilt invite us to thy wedding, and not be ashamed of us, and thou wilt call us thine aunts, and likewise wilt place us at thy table, and call us thine aunts, we will spin all of thy flax for thee, and we will do it in a very short time." she replied. "Oh, do come in and begin thy work at once." Well, she let them in, all three of these strange women. She cleared a place in the first room, where they seated themselves and began to spin. The one drew the thread and trod at the wheel with her broad foot. The other wetted the thread, and the third twisted it and struck the table with her finger. As often as she struck it, a skein of thread fell to the ground that was spun in the finest manner. The girl concealed the three spinners from the queen, and showed her whenever she came the great quantity of beautiful spun thread, until the latter could not praise her enough. When the first room was empty, she went on to the second, and on to the last of the third, and that too was quickly cleared. Then the three women took leave and said to the girl, "Do not forget what thou hast promised us. It will make thee thy fortune." When the maiden showed the queen the empty rooms and the great heap of yarn, she gave orders for the wedding, and the bridegroom rejoiced that he was to have such a clever and industrious wife, and he praised her mightily. "I have 3 aunts," said the girl, "and they have been very kind to me. I should not like to forget them in my good fortune. Allow me to have them at the wedding, and let them sit at our table." Well, the queen and the bridegroom said, "Well, why should we not allow that?" Therefore, the feast began. The three women entered in their strange apparel. The bride said, "Welcome, dear aunts." "Ah," said the bridegroom, "how comest by these odious friends?" Whereupon he went to the one with the broad, flat foot and said, "How do you come by such a broad foot?" "By treading," she said, "by treading." Then the bridegroom went on to the second and said, "How do you come by your falling lip?" "By licking," she said, "by licking." Then he asked of the third, "How do you come by your broad thumb?" "By twisting the thread," she said, "by twisting thread." On this the king's son was alarmed and said, "Neither now or ever shall my beautiful wife ever touch a spinning wheel." And thus she got rid of those hateful flax spinners. Well, I guess laziness paid off this time. Doesn't usually happen normally. The Brothers Grimm. Things don't always work out the way we expect them to. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.